All right, ladies and gents, welcome back to this Colecast presentation where we just had an epic comeback. QsQ 357 emulating Fnatic MSI with that one and bringing it back from the brink against Trademark Esports, forcing game number 3 and one final game to decide who's going to be advancing to the grand finals of the Runic Shift and who goes home in 3rd, 4th place. With me for this epic conclusion, we do have iNsania once more. And iNsania, I mean, that game was absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, it was crazy. QsQ played really, really well from the point that they got a slight momentum shift in their favor. So they just played that really, really well. xtdM, I feel, had that game. They had what they needed to close that one out, but I don't know, maybe there was a lack of focus, maybe a little bit of lack of leadership, which I actually doubt now that I say it, but just there was something missing and they just weren't able to close out that game. They weren't making the right plays, and I mean, xtdM made the best use out of it. QsQ made the best use out of it, and they managed to turn that around and take a win.
They did indeed. Big wombo combo coming out in that last game, and we'll have to see how Trademark responds in this drafting phase. We do already have the blind bans out. Of course, Artillery and Parasite going to be banned out, as well as Moon Queen Keeper of the Forest. So that Artillery blind ban making a return. And take a look at this lock pool. Forsaken Archer making it in there with Minuts actually inserting it into the lock.
Yeah, no, this is actually a really smart play on his half. Look at the heroes in the lock pool. You want those 5 first heroes, just ignoring the FA. Like, you want 2 out of those 5. Those are amazing heroes. If you have to pass up on one of those to pick up FA, it kind of becomes like, yeah, I don't really want to do that. So it kind of functions as a ban on Forsaken Archer. Or at least a ban on the other hero that QsQ could have had. This is a really smart drafting move from Minuts. He knows that he doesn't really care too much for the FA, but he makes sure to remove that from QsQ without really using one of his bans on it.
All right, well, speaking of the bans that he is going to be using, wow, Kraken going to get banned out there by Minuts, saying, hey, this hero did receive some buffs, and we can see that Style plays a fantastic Kraken, and hell, even bombing out another signature Style hero with the Bombardier. In addition to that, you've got your standard bans on Deadwood, Fade, Rally, Wild Soul, and Flux. Gonna be first picked here. Looks like they could be setting up that Flux NG combo.
I think they definitely are. They're basically giving Minuts both Ophelia and Tempest, which I think is fine though when you have Flux Engineer. If you execute the Flux Engineer properly, that is one of the most ridiculous things in the game. It's so strong in early team fights. And I just have to say, I'm probably the biggest fan of wombo combos.
I don't know. I'll fight you for that. I'll fight you for that, man.
There's no way.
iNsania.
I became a captain of my team so I could pick wombo combos.
I mean, I became a caster so I could cast wombo combos.
Okay, fine. We're pretty even on that.
We're pretty
but
even.
Yeah,
All
no,
right.
wombo combos are amazing. I love seeing wombo combos. So, just the fact that Flux is such a strong hero in this meta game, I'm so glad to see that. And I hope that never changes. I hope Flux just stays to be an immense force that we get to deal with. And yeah, I love this pick from Minuts. Tundra is so good. So good. I don't get why they passed up on it last time.
Ooh. Dark Lady going to be picked up here, but Tundra, like you're talking about, of course having a huge presence in game number 1, being played by Zai. Going to be picked up here with the Pebbles and Nymphora, so sacrificing some of that laning presence to go for the mid-game ganking and map control potential. Not bad. There's the first pick, Engineer, to go with Flux and Dark Lady. Really synergizing quite well with both of those heroes. How does Trademark respond?
I mean, I think QsQ would want bubbles here. They just want that additional amount of damage. You want the slight ganking presence. You have a lineup which has basically 0 gank, which is what they have right now. They want to avoid picking up the Wretched Hag. But then again, they could also fit in the Tempest, which Minus just picked up now. But here's the question. Do they go with Ophelia to strengthen their own lineup? Or do they take away the bubbles from the Legion lineup? Yeah, that's what they're going to go with. They're actually going to take away the bubbles, and I like this decision. Their lineup with the Hag is good, but it's not as good. It's weakened. It's lacking that bubbles. The bubbles was the hero they really, really wanted. And the Minus took it away from them. So a really nice draft on his end. I think both teams have phenomenal lineups. I'm never going to say that a Flux NG lineup is weak. But
Yeah, there's wombo combo. There's huge team fight potential over here on the Legion side, and they have one of the strongest hard carries in the game in that Dark Lady. Hell, even the Wretched Hag there having a ton of hard carry potential. On the other side, though, the strength of the ex-Trademark team is going to be their mid game, is going to be their constant aggression. This is similar to what we saw in game number 1, where QsQ didn't really have the early game presence to deal with the consistent pressure of the ex-Trademark team. You think that the results are going to be similar to game number 1?
I certainly hope not. QsQ, they have a better lineup this time than I feel they had in game 1. Game 1, their lineup was, I don't want to say it on cast, but it's pretty terrible. Like, Sword per Curse just does not work. A Curse is a hero that does not belong in competitive play and has not belonged in competitive play for a long time. It just doesn't have a place in the mini games that you see right now. As far as TDM's lineup goes, you can pretty much say that is a mid-game lineup, but that's how a mid-game lineup should look. They have an Amphora, they have the Tundra, they have Pebbles. They have a lot of presence, they have a lot of map control heroes, and as long as they can consistently pick heroes off from the QsQ team and not fight them straight up in a 5 versus 5 team fight with equal resources, they're going to come out ahead. But they just need to be very, very wary of taking those 5 versus 5 team fights where they're equal in resources. They need to be far ahead before they feel confident going into those 5 versus fights. But yeah, no, I think in general, like, the QsQ draft is pretty straightforward. They have a Flux Engineer to trying to force TDM to avoid taking team fights, whilst they have a Dark Lady farming away. And this is something Fnatic used to run a lot when they ran their 4+1 strategies. They would, if they got both Flux and Engineer, they would run them together with that short lane carry. But they're skipping out on the jungler, and they have Iglesias instead, which is quite interesting. But he's probably just going to be farming the pole, so it's not the biggest deal in the end.
Yeah, of course, with those counter wards picked up very early on, Nova going to be looking to hustle over to that pull to spot on what side it might get blocked. But, of course, a dangerous proposition there being that the level 1 stun potential of Nymphora, Pebbles, and mostly just them, because you don't expect the Glacial Blast to be leveled up on Tempest. They definitely have some kill potential on the Hellborn team. So maybe, I mean, the Legion might be able to send 5 over there as well, as they do have some stuns themselves, with Glacius possibly leveling up that Ice Imprisonment, and of course the Keg from Engineer. But not a whole lot of level 1 kill potential really from either of these teams, as they are still sitting in this pause, just trying to get everything sorted out, as this is a very important game. You want to get everything taken care of before you have to go into this. You get your snack, you get your drink, you go use the restroom, make sure your settings are correct, and it's time to go.
Yeah, it certainly is, and it looks like they're going to just send Bubbles down there to place the ward. No more clash, as it has been the last couple of games. Look at this play from QsQ. They're going up there as 5 to get that ward for Hag. And yeah, I think that is important. Why is that? If QsQ don't have that ward for Hag, the Hag can easily get shut down by a dual lane up there. Especially with a Tempest in the jungle, you can keep a Hag really low level. So just doing everything they can to support the Hag. They don't know that it's a solo Tundra here, they might be assuming it. But I don't think they would move up with this many heroes if they did. Now, so gonna move up here, get the ward down, and just back off.
Now speaking of that solo Tundra, he's bought a ton of regen. He expects to be going up against a full tri-lane right now. Is that what you think the QsQ team is going to run?
He's definitely expecting the Hag, actually.
Really?
How a Hag lanes is that they max the Haunt, they skill up the Haunt, they just use it for constant harassment against melee heroes. So what Zai is doing is he's buying a ton of regen to just counteract that.
Okay.
Hag can't harass me out of the lane, I'll get level 6, I'll kill her. Simple as that. I think they're actually expecting the Hag to be up there. But interesting play from Nova here. I actually thought the counters were going to be used defensively to ensure some farm on himself, but he is actually blocking Minus entire jungle. And as somebody who plays quite a lot of jungle myself, there is nothing I hate more than this. Like, I have left more TMM games the last couple of days, I'll say, than I have ever before, because I just get so frustrated. I pick like Tempest and they go Parasite and then just jungle up I ward up my entire jungle as well. And this is one of the consequences of the wards, and you need to be careful with this. Junglers are not as powerful as they once were. They're much easier to shut down. He's basically rotating off of one camp right now.
Yeah, and he is going to realize that in a few seconds here. And Minots, as you said, definitely a player that can go on tilt a little bit, going to go ahead and spawn up those minions and then go try to find anything that can be done. the problem with rotating them into that bottom lane is going to be the dual roaming supports. If they pull one from mid, if they pull one from bottom, I mean, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. And Tempest, I feel like he's going to have an extremely hard time early in this game.
Yeah, he definitely is. He's basically rotating himself into a position where he's between two supports. You never want to be in that position. If either of these two supports
great
roam
keg
in
in the middle lane, actually, as Haxorn takes a great amount of pressure. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No, but it's so scary. The Tempest positioning is just not where you want it to be. He's sending in, look at this, walking Corey, just walking across the entire map, down to the jungles to deliver him his mana potions. And this is something he has to do, is just, there's not much you can do about this warding situation. You need to be up there defending your jungle when you pick a hero like Tempest. However, the downside is, you can't really do it because you have a hero like Tempest that has no impact on defending at all. So really good play from QsQ's end as they're going for a kill.
Yeah, Tempest is rotating right now. Does have the minions for another 10 seconds here. The auto attack damage going to be applied onto Nova. Nova going deep into the trees. Dark Lady saying, hey, we need to fight this, but Nova will go down. So that's something that Tempest can do. Make his presence felt in the lane. Middle lane, though, Haxorn taking a lot of pressure once more. He is quite slowed in that low armor coming into play as the auto attack damage is there. Great pull coming in from Flux, and down goes Hax.
Yeah, Flux Engineer is one of the strongest lanes in the game. Flux, just on his own, one of the strongest laners. Match him up with another one of the game's strongest laners, and you get a fantastic lane. Nymphora Pebbles, of course, very, very strong.
Hasted Engineer was actually going on Tundra, choosing not to go. I don't know if I agree with that decision from Male. Perhaps he was afraid that there was going to be a Tempest and he was going to get turned around on, but I mean, it looked like he could have possibly gotten a kill onto the Tundra there if he'd pursued the chase.
Yeah, no, did choose not to, though. Moving down here, trying to chase out the Tempest. They got a pretty good position on him. He is not slowed by the... Did he use the Thunder Blast already?
It looks like it is, in fact, on cooldown. Maybe Glacier's using that to snipe the Vulture Lord. I think that's a possibility.
Yeah, that might have been the case, yeah.
But no, Glacier has no CS, so...
Maybe tried.
Maybe tried, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, Molly has 35,791 seconds left on his haste right now, so most probably going to be able to pick up a kill on the Tempest. No, but depending on how long that haste rune is actually left on him,
I can't imagine it being more than 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So we'll have
but
to see.
I think with a good turret, they might actually be able to kill the Tempest. So let's see how this plays out. If they were able to do so, Tempest will be... He's going to have such a poor game this game, regardless of what happens. He's going to get forced out of the jungle right now. As long as the two supports are not showing themselves on lane, he cannot feel safe anywhere. And he's not going to be farming his own jungle for another couple of minutes. He's going to get two of his camps back now.
Yeah, he's going to get 2 of the camps back, which makes it into a 3-camp game, and that he can definitely manage that. So only losing out on the first 2 minutes of farm, essentially, as he does definitely look like he wants to rotate back into his own jungle.
Yeah, but you got to keep in mind, a hero like Tempest is a very timing-dependent hero. It's a hero that you want to have. You have these set timings that you always want to go push with, you want to go gank with, because the game is in a position where you're really, really strong. You'll normally see a Tempest hit level 6 earlier than any other hero.
Oh, there's the keg. And turret, great turret going to be coming in right there. Tempest getting slowed pretty significantly. Pebbles Nymph going to be coming over as well. There's the Ice Imprisonment. The auto attack damage, and down goes one. Nymphora could be in some trouble as well. The keg will connect here. Flux going to pull in, gets the slow off. Nymphora going for the juke. Not going to happen. 2-for-1 special in the bottom lane, or in the bottom river.
Yeah, well done from QsQ. I mean, they have momentum. You can see it. This is so fun for me. I love seeing this from QsQ. They're a team that when they do good, they know they're doing good, and then they just do even better. And I like seeing this from them. They are a really streaky team, and when they're playing good now, and they're playing the game that they need to play. They have the presence of mind to block Mina's camps. They're dealing with the Tempest appropriately, and I mean that's something that we didn't do in my own team last night. So well done on QsQ's hat, and I really like the start that they set up for themselves. They made sure Tempest did not have a huge impact on that early game, even though he did manage to get the first one down there, which was a good play from Minuts. Oh no, just missed XP for Vagabond Leader. You can't do that.
Oh, what? He missed the experience because his creeps killed it while he's out of range?
Yeah, I let his creeps kill it because he went for the stack with the Zero instead of sending it in.
Not
Oh
ideal.
well, not a big deal. Just ignore that. But yeah, no, that should not ever happen. But yeah, no, middle lane. I mean, Flux and NG are doing really, really well. They're keeping down the Pebbles. Pebbles is not getting snowball start at all, staying at 170 gold per minute.
Oof.
Locking down the key hero. Sai, he's doing good. He's not doing amazing. And they don't really have anyone on their team that's doing really, really well. Initiation on
Oh,
Flux,
Bubbles,
however.
yeah, gonna be going in here. Shell Surf Song of the Sea, the Chuck coming in, and Style will go down. So there's the great rotation coming in from Bubbles, who not even level 6, starting to show his presence around the map. And that's definitely what Haxor needed to open up this lane and start to get some of that recovery farm.
Yeah, I feel like this is on Male though. Male should not be up top right now. Thunder has level 6. He's gonna be able to avalanche, I feel, and get away. No, they're locking him down.
Definitely
He's gonna
not.
drop.
Great kill there. One that you didn't expect to happen. So good job from QsQ as they rack up their 4th hero kill at only 5 minutes into the game. And Engineer will now just rotate back over to the middle lane, where Flux is already putting the pressure onto Pebbles, and a striding Engineer going to come in right now. The Chuck backward. Flux is going to be able to turn around and man up. There's the keg. Beautiful keg. The turret, and down goes Pebbles. Great play from QsQ once again.
Yeah, very well done. A bit unfortunate there. He had a regen ring bottle, I do believe. Just took an archer's auto attack right as he popped it, and did not get that health from it. But nonetheless, a really good play there. I did not expect Zai to get caught out, because they did play aggressive middle, knowing that the engineer was not there. And then, I feel like they should have realized that the engineer was just top. Meanwhile, we were just ignoring this fact, but Dark Lady is free farming down in the bottom lane.
Oh, and
she has her
she's...
faces now.
Yeah, going on Bubbles right there, but Bubbles does manage to get the Shell Surf off prior to taking death. That Dark Lady, yeah, I was taking a look at her farm, sitting at 330 right now, so not uncontrollably perfect, you know, not getting up to that 380 range or even 400. As Tempest, level 5, hits the level 3 Glacial Blast onto Flux. It's actually only level 2. And good dodge on the Zeal Stun. Tempest now the one that's in trouble, though, as Hag and Engineer are rotating. Chugs the invits that he had bottled and will be just fine, though.
Yeah, a little bit of movement from Jonas. I like seeing this. I like that he's not sticking around the top lane. He's kind of playing his Hag as if he was a Bubbles, which I think is what he needs to do. As we brought this up earlier, he is replacing a Bubbles. He is supposed to be that Bubbles for their team, not necessarily the carry Hag that you might see very often.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Tempest still hovering around here, level 5, so does not have that Elemental Void available. Looks like Glacius is going to be the one that's in trouble here. Needs to turn around and use a Thunder Blast, and will set that one up. There's the Flux pull going to be used, as Nymphora going to be taking the focus right here, and she will go down. 4 players now in position for ex-Trademark in the middle lane, though. Doesn't look like they're going to set anything up, at least just yet, although that Avalanche from Tundra, very deadly if he can get it off.
Yeah, no, good resource advantage in favor of QsQ. But the reason this is so scary is that they have the late game. They have everything they need to just sit back and just trade right now. They don't need to make any extraordinary plays. Keep doing what they're doing right now. Don't overextend. Don't do what TDM did last game. And this game is in their hands. It's their game to lose at this point, more or less. Haxor, he's just so extremely gimped right now, sitting at 175 gold per minute. It's just, his impact is going to be so little. It's going to be so late. And when you're picking a lineup like the one, TDM has, it needs to be bigger. He is kind of their snowballer, him and Zai together, and neither of them are having that kind of a start that they need in order for this to work.
Fight at the top, Rune once again. Nymphora going to take a haunt right here, and she's going to take a lot of auto attack damage. Flux is there as well. Tempest going to come in with the Elemental Void available here. Might try to lock down Hag. There's the Song of the Sea going to be coming in after the Shell Surf. Hag, yeah, will get hit by that Elemental Void. The auto attack damage is going to be enough to finish off Jonas. And Engineer now has to get away. Nice pull from Flux, helping out his Engineer buddy. And that's going to be that, a 1-for-1 exchange, but Hag, definitely the more important hero.
Yeah, no, it's good for TDM, but then again, you gotta keep in mind they use Elemental Void. What does that mean? That means they're not gonna go for too aggressive of a play. They're not gonna go for some kind of push. And what does that mean in consequence? Yeah, they're leaving TDL to farm. TDL is giving even more time to farm. So even though just pure hero-wise, yeah, this is in favor of TDM. They got a better hero pick-off. They traded their hard support for a Hag, so that's good. But what does it mean in the long term? It means the Dark Lady's getting more farm. That's what it really means. When they use long cooldown ultimates, that they need in order to make really aggressive plays. So I think that was a better trade in QsQ's favor in the end.
A very roundabout way of looking at it, but it certainly makes sense. But Dark Lady, like you said, farming up a storm here in the bottom lane. She just finished up the Sustainer 9 minutes in after the Ring of the Teacher plus Ghost Marchers, and now turns on that ring. Going to be making her push start to happen in the bottom lane, saying, there's nobody here, it's time to knock this tower down. Top lane, though, Shell Surf Song of the Sea plus Avalanche combo from Tundra. And down goes the Wretched Hag. So, great job from ex-Trademark, making sure to keep Jonas Fan down, giving him a couple deaths in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, they're locking down Jonas. It's good. They shouldn't let TDM have QsQ have any more farm than they necessarily need. However, the core heroes are still farming. Flux is farming and Dark Lady is farming. These are the two heroes that really matter in order for... I hate that they have the Eagle Wankers tag. For QsQ to really succeed here. I just was about to say Eagle Wankers and I'm like, wait, no, that's not right.
It happens all the time because nobody tags up their teams these days. Like, nobody tags up their teams. Both of these teams untagged. As Haunt going to be applied, Dark Lady comes in, and Tempest will go down in the bottom lane. Minuts getting a little bit too cocky and aggressive with his farming in that bottom lane, and QsQ punishes him for it.
Yeah, no, good play on their end. Dark Lady picking up a kill. I mean, can this get any better for QsQ? I feel like they're in a position right now where they have everything in their favor. They're in a position TDM was in last game. The difference being that they have late game. They can sit back. They're not under any pressure whatsoever, except for the pressure that TDM applies onto them, and it's not going to be too much, and it's going to be late when it actually does happen. Haxorn just now, I do believe, finished up his steam boots. Nope, not even that by the looks of it. Just a power supply. So I mean, he's sitting on red boots and a power supply and a bottle at 11 minutes into the game. This is normally when you see Pebbles closing in on his portal key.
Yeah, absolutely. And as soon as that TP goes off, Nymphora in some trouble here. Good dodge on the back of that stun. And she will go down. Fitsky's 4th death of the game as Q-Squad 357 is making sure to punish ex-Trademark every time they're out of position. And they're going to capitalize on this punish by attempting to take the mid tower. Well, Creepwave gets annihilated there by a Bubbles Shell Surf. But they should still be able to do it if they want to.
I don't think they're going to go for it. There's no need for them to make that aggressive play. They're just going to, yeah, you see Hag moving down here, farming out some stacks, getting whatever farm she can before Dark Lady starts eating up the entire map. And it's really just, yeah, maybe we could go for the tower, but hey, let's just take the passive play. We'll do what we need to do. We won't do any more or any less. Just stick to the plan. Don't overextend. Don't risk us getting caught.
Absolutely. And right now, Nymphora plus Pebbles hanging out in this top lane. They're looking for a kill on that tower, but a hasted Flux running a distraction over in the top river. And Trademark, the things that they have going for them are pretty minimal at this point. I mean, the highest farm on their team is 290 GPM on Tempest, as that hasted Flux is going to try to collapse onto Pebbles. There's a good keg. Nymphora Zealstun going to connect. There's the Shell Surf coming in. Song of the Sea. Kelpfield onto 2, but the turnaround is available from QsQ. And there's the Bat Blast going to connect onto 2. Bubbles going to drop immediately. Nymphora going to go down as well. Pebbles in some trouble. Dark Lady going to show up. Gets caught in the Elemental Void, though. And as a result, looks like Pebbles going to get away for now. Tempest not going to be so lucky. One more auto attack from Dark Lady, and she goes down, and Flux with the pull in right here on Pebbles. Down goes the big rock, and Tundra, the only one to survive the wrath of Q-Squad 357.
Yeah, I mean, QsQ is just playing perfectly right now. Nox is TPing. He's not AFK in his lane, doing nothing, having no mana.
That's what happens when you have a mana tube. Sustainer and the Ring of the Teacher. Easy mana.
Yep. No, but good play from QsQ there. Nox TPing in when he needed to TP in. Really nice response. I was just gonna say, like, they don't need to make this play. They don't need to go for this dive, but hey, it worked out. They got out ahead, and now Haxorn is even more a gimp. I would actually not be surprised to see a 15-minute concede come out from TDM right now.
Yeah. Very much so a possibility. We've talked about this with the new patch. Of course, snowballing teams just it happens so much more. You get so much more experience in cold at these lower levels, especially the experience, as we can really take a look at that chart right here. Dark Lady level 11. Of course, even Flux and Hag sitting there at level 10, whereas on the other side, you got heroes like Bubbles that are just chilling at level 11, or excuse me, just chilling at like level 7. Of course, Haxerin there at level 8, the same level as the Engineer on the other side, pretty much. It's kind of insane, and Dark Lady finishes up the Rune Cleaver here, 14 minutes in, about to break the 500 gold per minute mark, and she's beyond uncontrollable territory.
I mean, uncontrollable is a strong word when they have the Nymphora, Tundra, and the Pebbles, but
I stand by it.
She's as close to that as you can get, I would say, with those two heroes in the game. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm just so surprised to see QsQ so composed. They're not overextending. They're not trying to make any fancy plays that they don't need to play. Like, I'll be honest, I'm not surprised QsQ, I'm surprised Style isn't running around making stupid shit. Because he is the one player that you can expect. When he's doing good, he's gonna be like, oh really? I'm sitting at 500 gold per minute? Okay, let's go tower dive after base. Like, he does that. And he really does. And he doesn't care. Well, he does care, but he does it and it doesn't work out and then he just goes on tilt and plays terrible. He's not done any of that, and it just goes to show, I feel like QsQ, I mean, they are the team that put in the most time. I don't think anyone can argue with that. They play the most out of everyone when it comes to like a complete scrimming schedule over this last 6 months. And it feels like he's growing as a player. It's nice to see somebody that's so mechanically skilled, somebody that is so fantastic in the lane and makes so many big plays, just able to do the standard plays as well. Manages to just put the gear and
just not feed.
One step, just not feed and just do what he is supposed to do.
To keep composed is Flux. Ooh, unfortunately going to miss the release right there. Didn't choose to use the discharge either, and as a result, Haxerin will live. We'll have to take a trip back to town though. I mean, we're 16 minutes in. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Oh my god, I need to stop doing that. Triple stack shit.
You're just not allowed to have favorite players as a caster, man. You're just not allowed to praise them at all. I know, but you're not even allowed to praise them at all.
Yeah.
Like, you just...
Styles a horrible player. I hate him as a human being as well as a player.
Yeah, exactly.
Terrible.
There you go. Well, the resource advantage definitely looking strong here in Q Squad 357, looking to extend it even further. Pebbles is auto-attacking an illusion down.
Yeah, no, middle lane seems like they're gathering up. They have the bird up here. They're going to get the tower.
Oh, there's the release coming in. The Bat Blast going to be coming in onto the 3 players as well. The Avalanche turn around. There's the interrupt on the Tempest ultimate. Tempest going to drop. The Energy Field going to be coming in. Finishes off Bubbles. A beautiful turret slowing down everybody. Pebbles taking so much damage. Hag going to be coming in right here. There's the auto attacks from, looks like Flux coming in. A hat trick coming in as the GG well playeds come out. 17 minutes in. And Q Squad 357 making the comeback in game 2 and dominating start to finish in game number 3. They will advance to the Runic Shift Grand Finals and iNsania. This team is looking on fire.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see them face up against whoever they might be facing. I'm just going to go ahead and say it's probably going to be SG.
Probably.
And, no, but, yeah, I think QsQ, when they're on the roll, if they can play this well against Stay Green, they might actually have a chance. And I know that sounds really... Oh, they can actually have a chance. Yeah, but let's be honest. Stay Green have been so dominant for so long that even assuming that teams are going to beat them or destroy... Like, I thought Lions were going to do good, but then I just saw them crumble to pieces as they played against Stay Green. But I feel like QsQ, in this shape, if they continue playing like this, they definitely have a chance to maybe make the biggest upset of the year so far.
It very well could be. So, guys, the Runic Shift Invitational, that is going to do it for Colecast coverage. We are done here. You can catch the end, the grand finals of Q Squad versus either Stay Green or Tankafet's team. That is scheduled to start in about an hour and 15 minutes. That is, of course, 15:30 EST, 21:30 CEST over at Honcast. So make sure to check that one out. And I hope that you did enjoy this presentation of the Runic Shift here on Colecast. Huge shout-outs to everybody that made the Runic Shift possible over there at S2 Games and all the Hon Tour staff as well. Making sure that it does run very well. And, I mean, it's been a very enjoyable tournament. Just 2 days here in iNsania. I've had a ton of fun casting, and I'm sure you had a lot of fun casting as well as playing in it. it was a very nice little tournament to have this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. It was fun to actually be able to play a tournament again. However, we weren't ready for it, I feel. It would have been nice to have another week to prepare, but alas, we did not. And it was still fun to play. I'd love to be able to get into this and cast it with you. It's a lot of fun to actually analyze these teams and just maybe give a new perspective to the games that a lot of people might not have when they're watching the games.
Well, Insania, it's always nice to have you here. Thank you very much for being here. Guys, Colecast will be back probably tomorrow. We'll be looking for some Scrimcasts. So Scrimcast Live should be making a return for at least a few days next week. And then starting next Saturday, we do have the DreamHack qualifiers. We're going to see some of the top teams battle it out for the chance to make it over to Sweden and play for that $30,000 tournament. So looking forward to that one. Only 6 days away now from the start of the DreamHack qualifiers. It seems like the year is just flying by, Insania, with all these events.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many LAN events now that it's just crazy. I mean, I don't know. We have DreamHack, and then it's on for Season 2, and then we have DreamHack again. It's so many tournaments happening at the same time. You don't have time to just stop and like actually think about it. Time just flies by. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It's been an exciting year so far.
It certainly has, and it looks to continue. All right, guys, but that is going to do it. Insania, one more time, thank you. And do you have any shout-outs before we actually let you go?
Yeah, I actually do. I need to give a shout-out to MacroHard. Thank you for helping me out. And a shout-out to Phoenix at S2.
Nice.
And shout-out to my new team. I have to give them all a shout-out. Sender, New G, Fuzi, and Civi as well.
There you go, there you go. MacroHard's an awesome guy. I got to meet him down in Las Vegas. So, very cool guy indeed. And of course, Phoenix, a helpful guy as well. But, Insania, thank you for being here. Good luck in the upcoming week, and look forward to casting with you again, man.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
I'll looking forward as well.
All right, dude. Have a good day. We'll catch you later. All right, ladies and gents, that does it for Colecast for the day. Going to be shutting the stream down here in just a couple of minutes. Big shout out to all of you for taking some time for Colecast in your schedule, coming in for your daily dose of competitive HON. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow. Going to be on the lookout for Scrimcast, so you can catch all the updates about that on my Twitter and Facebook. Twitter.com/BeefPotPie1, Facebook.com/BeefPotPie1. You'll hear about it there first, and of course, make sure to hit that follow button on Twitch.tv/ComplexityHON to get notified whenever we do go live. Other than that, we will be back later on next weekend with the DreamHack qualifiers, so make sure to get hyped for that. And of course, a huge shout out to the Complexity Gaming organization for all their support of Colecast, and really to the sponsors who make what we do possible. Some of the best sponsors in the entire world with Sound Blaster, Newegg.com, Origin, QPad, PNY, and Twitch. Make sure to show them some love and support for what they do with esports, guys. And that is it. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I am out. I'll catch you tomorrow. Have a great day.